I mean, that messes up your brain, dude.
It does.
Going in and out of jail that much.
Just a little cell, like this last time I was in there, I felt like the walls were closing in,
Yeah. And especially doing that at such a young age has got to really mess you up. I feel like if I were to go to jail as an adult right now, I could probably handle it way better than if I went to jail when I was like 14.
Yeah, I know. And then now you probably lived or been exposed to a lot of more stuff that will help you understand. See, when we were kids, I remember fighting and getting the pepper spray in juvenile halls, and like it hurt, but you can't really be right there voicing it because everybody goes through it, and you have to be like this macho type of dude, but you're a little kid.
Yeah,
you're
you got to be tough 17, on the outside. Yeah. Do you remember the first time that you went to juvie?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Excuse me. The first time I went to juvie, I was probably 15.
That's young.
So I remember the first night I was there, there was this one dude, he was 18. And he had already been to the youth authority. I don't know if it was 16 months, 18 months, but he had already been there and got out and violated. So he was in the juvenile halls with us. And I was 15, he was 18. And he said, I'm going to fight that guy because I don't like his hood, And I remember all night he was banging on the door, singing his neighborhood jams, which is our opposite to us, rivals to us. And then there was this dude that did the Zapatista riot. It was this dude from Crimeys, this dude from two dudes from the Crazy Boys. 2 dudes from the Crimeys and a dude from the Crazy Boys. They refused to go to their cells, and they started wrestling the staff, throwing chairs everywhere, So my first time being in there, I was like, damn, it gets crazy in here,
Yeah, and you're brand new to the system. You're looking around like, holy fuck, this is different.
Yeah, the next day, I was supposed to fight that guy in the morning, but he was sick or something. He was start throwing up.
Yeah.
So the next time I came out, he called me into the restroom, and we got into a fight.
Who won the fight?
He did. He was older, bro. What the
hell?
Man, Come
older,
on.
bigger guy. Yeah.
People say age don't matter. It matters, bro.
Especially at that age, bro. 3 years is a huge difference when you're that young.
Plus, he had already been through the youth authority fighting all kinds.
Yeah, he's toughened up already.
Yeah.
You're brand new in there.
I'm brand new, bro. I'm like, come on, now give me a break. Can I fight one of the guys I went to school with?
That was like your inauguration into juvie.
Yeah.
After that, it's like, fuck. Now you're ready to go.
Yeah, after that, I didn't get beat up as bad.
So how long were you in for that first time?
The first time, I was probably there maybe a 6-month sentence. I probably did 4.
Okay, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
What were you in for?
I was sitting for brandishing a weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching, as I was getting ready for this, I was watching your past interviews, and you said, like, a lot of the stuff you got in trouble for was weapon related.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was there for that, but my fights were gang related. Everything else was gang related. I remember getting into that fight, and then they threw me on a lockdown unit. So they had units 1, 2, 3, 4. They were sending me with the big boys to the 1. That's where the 17, 18-year-olds are at. The bigger guys in size. And then there was unit 2 and 3 where the littler guys were at, but 3 had converted into a lockdown unit. So I'm right there in the lockdown unit, and they put me with 2 guys from my neighborhood, from my gang. And there was no restroom in there, We had to, bus up to go take a piss.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I remember.
That's crazy.
That's cruel and unusual.
You can't even go piss on your own?
No. That's cruel and unusual punishment now that I think about it.
100%.
So I felt better, my homeboys were right there. They're like, yeah, fool, when you come out, just attack these fools, So we came out again, and then we went to the yard. And then some dude, ran up on me. So we started fighting. And then, 5 days later, they let us out again. And we were in the unit 1 and another fight, And then there was this dude, another 18-year-old. I'm still 15. He was from Camarillo, I remember. And it was a big deal to where they had got into it with my homeboys in the streets.
Yeah.
And he was the one. So when they let him out with me, I tried to give him the heads up. I hit him up. Hit him up means I asked him, where you from?
Okay.
So he should already be ready. As soon as he told me where he was from, I started bombing on him, Pop, 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 pop. Man down. Not man down, but everybody go down. Yeah. That was my first time in juvenile halls. After that, I couldn't fight no more because they segregated me from everybody.
Mm.
They said once you have so many, because it was called temporary segregation.
Yep.
That means you only come out with fools you get along with. And I got into a fight during that, so they segregated me. So for the rest of the time, I didn't get into no more fights. I wanted to, but I couldn't see my enemies no more.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a lot of fun fighting. Like
Well,
you really. It sounds like you love it.
No, well, when you fight, the more violent you get, the more respect you get in that environment. You know, and now it's juvenile halls. It's not just my neighborhood. It's not just my enemies. We're right there with homies from all the county, you know, for the whole county.
Yeah.
So everybody starts recognizing you. So, of course, you know.
So this is more than just fighting for you. This is almost like when someone goes to their job and works hard for a promotion.
This is a resume.
Yeah.
This is your resume.
Yeah. You're working hard to get that promotion.
Yeah, well, you're
doing
just,
this.
you know, doing your thing, you know, getting into fights.
Yep. So when you're in juvie and they're putting you on lockdown, what's your daily schedule like on lockdown? How tough is that?
Bro, you know what? To be honest, like, and I regret it now because I wouldn't even read in juvenile halls.
Really?
I wouldn't even read. They try to teach me how to play chess. I didn't want to learn.
Oh, chess is fun, dude.
Chess is fun.
Chess is a lot of fun.
Now I know how to play chess.
Yeah.
12 to 20. That's how I open every time. Air chess. You ever played air chess?
I have. I'm bad at chess, though. I don't
Yeah?
know, like, the technical terms. You'd probably smoke me.
Nah.
You're already saying shit I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I just know what the pieces do.
Well, that's like you number them from 1 through 64, right? And if you have your neighbor, he makes a board, you make a board, and if he says 12 to 20, you move the piece from 12 to 20.
Oh, so you just call out to each other where the pieces are supposed to be.
Yeah, and you start playing. And
that's cool.
Yeah, that's it's dope.
What
Chess,
other kind of, like, games can you play from between cells like that?
Sink my ship. So
Okay.
through the toilet,
Yeah.
you put all the toilets, and then you number them, the lines and the ones that go down.
Yeah.
And if he mentions one of the numbers, you start taking them off, and that's how you sink the ship.
That's sick. That's probably so much fun when you got nothing else to do, too. Like, that's probably the best shit you can do.
I mean, just talking to people, you know, being on the tier, you know, just socializing with people, it keeps you sane.
And were you like, would they tell you to stop talking to each other when you're talking through the cell like that, or were you allowed to be doing that?
Nah. The staff, they're way over there. You know,
Okay,
they don't
so they're
even
not
care.
that on ass with you. You're allowed to at least talk and
Yeah.
do
You
that.
could talk.
So, you know, you do your, you had said 4 months when you went to juvie for the first time?
First time.
After that, you got out. What did you do when you got out? How long before you got in trouble again?
After that, I got out, and the thing is that I got out with no probation. So I didn't get back on probation, you know. I remember being chased by the cops with guns, you know, and everything, and they never got me.
Yep.
You know, I remember being in the car with one of my homeboys. He was on the run. I'm strapped. Everybody's strapped. We jumping fences. The cops get behind us. They don't catch me. You know. But since I wasn't on probation, I feel like that's what helped me more because. Can I search you? No, I'm not on probation.
Yeah,
You
you
know
have
what I'm saying?
your rights back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I stayed out for like a year that time, you know, and I ended up catching an assault at high school. I went to a rival gang members high school, and I was the only one from my neighborhood, so I had to take off.
Oh shit. Yeah, it doesn't sound like. I mean, why'd you go over there solo?
I just had to go to the high school. I was assigned to go to the high school. It was called Frontier High School. So I went in there, like my homeboys had already told me, like, don't stay there. Just as soon as you see one of them fools, just attack them. And that's what I did.
Fuck. That's serious.
I mean, it's either that or be a little punk in that school because there's like 20, 30 of them.
Yeah, and you can't look like that.
Nah.
You got to do what you got to do.
Hell nah, not me.
How often were you kind of going in and out of juvie at that point?
I stayed out for like a year.
Okay.
And then they gave me that charge, which was assault and battery. And then I didn't want to do the probation, so they sent me to juvie for like 90 days, and I maxed it out, I believe.
Why didn't you want to do the probation?
Probation is just too long, and it's a setup.
It is.
It's a setup,
Yeah.
to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they want you back in jail.
They want you, not that they want you back in jail, but it's a job for them. So they want to keep you on probation.
Well, it costs money. You have to pay to be on probation every day.
With your freedom, of course, you know, with your rights and all that. You know?
I don't know how it is here at least, but in the state of Illinois, where I'm from, when I was on probation, I was 18 and I owed money. Like I had to pay for every day I was on probation because of the drug tests I was getting.
Oh.
So they billed me for all of that. So it cost me like.
I think they do bill your parents.
Yep.
When you're underage.
Yep.
Yeah.
They send them that.
Yeah,
that bill
you're
for
right.
sure.
You're correct on that.
Yeah. So it costs money. They want you on there, and then they want you to get locked up again because then they can squeeze more money out of you.
Well, see, when you're a kid, and you're living in that environment, you gotta have weapons on you. I didn't feel comfortable without a weapon.
Yeah, you had to protect yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Otherwise,
So
you're gonna get fucked up.
So on probation, it's hard to be around carrying weapons. Like when I was on parole, I've been arrested minimum 6 times with a firearm.
That's a lot.
Excuse me.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So it was rather get caught with a gun or get caught without it by the ops.
So it sounds like you were able to get back out again on a lot of those gun charges. And
Well, a gun charge only carries 3 years.
really?
Yeah, that's the max they could give you on a gun.
And I mean, you're not getting the maximum most of the time.
Well,
it sounds
no,
like,
I only got the maximum this last time I went to prison. Because after the last time I went to prison, I did 5 years.
Yep.
I also went to county jail for the last time. Different things, you know?
Yep. Yeah, you went to the.
But for that, they gave me 3 years for the gun, 4 years for the gang enhancement, just for being a gang member.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So 7 years just for the gun and being a gang member.
Those enhancements are always what get you.
In California, I don't know if they're everywhere, right?
They are for sure.
But they're not going to use it on someone like you, right?
No, I don't.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
have
saying,
that kind
like,
of record for sure.
I feel like they're using it on minorities.
Yeah, I'm a nice white guy with no tattoos, so I'm good. I'm not.
You're good.
I'm not worried in court.
You get caught with a gun, you're only going to do 270 days.
I might even get probation.
You might even get probation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, they are racist, huh?
100%.
They
Oh,
are
yeah.
racist.
Well, I've been in the court system a lot, dude. I mean, when I was younger, I was up to no good. I got caught with drugs all the time. I never got, like, gun charges. I wasn't a gang member or anything, but I would just get pulled over doing stupid shit, you know, or, like, pulled over while I'm drunk, you know, got a DUI and everything. And I feel like I got off really easy for, like, a lot
What
of the
made you
shit
move
I
to
did.
California, bro?
Doing this podcast.
Oh,
you
for
know?
real?
Yeah. I mean, back in Illinois, there's just not as many interesting people.
Like I said, look, if you're interested in the next weekends to come, we could just meet up in Bakersfield. We could just announce it, and whoever calls us, we'll go to their hood.
Sounds like a fun episode.
We have to bring a camera again. That's what I don't have, a camera.
We got a guy with cameras. We got a dude right here with cameras.
You have a drone?
Yeah, I'll take another beer for sure. Yeah, I do have a drone, actually.
That'll be cool right there.
Dude. What do you know, dude? We're ready to go for this shit.
Let's go right now.
Let's go to Bakersfield.
Let's go to
Fuck
Bakersfield.
it. Pick up the camera, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this.
So, oh man, where did we leave off? We were talking about you were kind of going back and forth. You got 6 gun charges, you said?
In my lifetime, yeah.
It's a lot, dude. At any point, as you're kind of going in and out of juvie and you're dealing with this constant legal trouble, did you ever think to yourself?
I think
like,
I was an adult when I got the 6th firearm.
Okay. Most of them were when you were young, like minor?
Well, not a minor, no.
Okay.
No, adult.
Just a young adult.
Just
still.
as soon as I turned 18, I was off probation. The cops cornered me into some type of projects. They're not projects. They're like apartments right there. If anybody knows Oxnard and Jane Drive, I was going to pick up some of my friends from Southside Chicas. I was in their hood. The cops cornered me in there. They let me pass. I parked, closed the car. They still searched it, even though I told them I was not on probation. They found the gun, but they couldn't charge me with it. They charged me with it. I went to jail, and the lady said, my attorney said, I'm going to get you out on illegal search and seizure. That's a
Nice.
motion. So she got me off right away. Like,
That's
I
a
wasn't
good
even
lawyer.
there. I wasn't even there a month.
That's a good lawyer right there. So while you're kind of going through this and going in and out of jail a lot, did it ever cross your mind that, like, damn, maybe you should change your lifestyle? Or were you always just down for
You know what? I was just all in for the hood. At the time, you know, I was looked at a little bit different because I was already getting out of prison. I was 20 years old getting out of prison, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And all the little youngsters kind of like gravitated towards me. And I felt my responsibility to keep it going, you know? So first day I was already on the block every time I got out from prison.
So it sounds like as you're getting older, you're just gaining more respect and getting deeper into it, and it's harder to get out.
Well, I feel like prison changed my mindset, And I feel like I became a hardcore criminal.
Yep.
When I started getting out of prison, I was more criminal sophisticated, and I just didn't care. Now they call it turned up. I feel like I was turned up,
Yep.
every time, so like no enemy alive pump fear in my heart.
So do you think going to prison is almost just like going to college for criminals?
It depends how you do your time, because there's people that just do their time reading. They go home and they never come back. And then there's people that make friends in there and they just want to get in trouble. And
They get up to no good.
when you get out, you want to get in trouble. Like what's going on? Let's get turned up. Let's make it happen. G rides, guns, drugs, all that. It's fun when you're young.
Yep.
I found myself getting out of prison from doing 5 years. I fought 2 life sentences. I was 32 years old. And I found myself like, what am I doing? I already grew up in prison all my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a year in my 20s where I was not in prison.
That's nuts.
You know what I'm saying? There's not 1 year from 2005 to 12 that I was not in Wasco State Prison in the reception center.
That's a lot of time lost.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of time lost. And I get out still with this image, with this illusion. The gangs are, that's what I'm all about. But now I'm broke on the streets. I got 2 strikes, so I can't sell drugs. And it's just everything hits me like, what am I doing? Like I gotta change. And I've been now I'm 38. I've been trying to change since then. For the first few years, it was good because of, it was before COVID. So I had a job, and then COVID hit and I haven't been able to recuperate from then.
COVID fucked everything up,
Yeah.
dude. COVID fucked everything up.
See, like right now, I haven't announced this on social media because I feel like when you announce stuff on social media, it just bad things happen. But right now, I just got my permit for Class A license.
Oh, nice.
I start school soon.
Nice.
So I hope that within the next 3 months, I get into a company where I start driving. I don't know if it's cross country or in the state. But within a year, get our money and then make an episode to where if I did it, you could do it type stuff,
You can make a lot of content out of that. Just recording
Even
your
that-
experience driving across the
right?
country.
But you can make a lot of money working for a legit company.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I want to teach the guys that watch these videos, the little ones. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to get stuck on, because I could paint a picture where it looks good to be a gang member.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's not.
It's not cool.
It's not cool. Why? Because you're going to end up broke unless you end up balling for a few months and then catch your 3rd strike.
Yep.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I can't think of any gang members who did it their whole life, made a bunch of money, never had any problems. It's never worth it.
The snitches might.
Maybe them.
Yeah, maybe them.
But
maybe them.
even then, that's not a lifestyle you want to live.
Yeah, you
Fuck
don't.
being a snitch.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So, you're going in and out of jail a lot. You're experiencing that. What would you say is the hardest thing about adjusting to going to jail from being on the outside?
So, to me, what's the hardest thing about getting out? Because, see, I grew up in there.
Okay.
You're looking at it from a perspective where you're not in there all the
Yeah,
time.
a totally different
And I don't know
perspective
your
on it.
background. You might have.
I
but
was never
what
actually
it sounds
sentenced
like,
to any jail time.
from what it sounds like, you're looking at it from a perspective of being out.
100%.
I look at it from a perspective of, even though I've been out this past few years, which is 6 years, I've done way more time than that.
You're still used to it even now.
Yeah, even now, like when I go in there, I get so used to it.
Yep.
Like when I go in there, like I already want to buy shampoo bottles to clean my floor. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, I mean, some do, some don't, but I'm used to that. I'm like, that's the first thing I buy,
Yep. So I guess to flip the question then, what's the hardest thing about getting out?
Well, the hardest thing about getting out, it's that when you're inside, right? I was still doing crimes in there. I was still, I was still getting into stuff in there, But when I got out, I tried to go legit, and it's hard, bro, because you have no job experience.
Yep.
And just life hits you. The bills, everything.
Yeah, you can kind of push it all aside when you're still getting into trouble and making bad decisions, but like you can't do that forever, Nobody can.
Especially when you have 2 strikes. I feel like that's what saved my life to a certain extent. I hope I never get stricken out. But I feel like the 2 strikes made me look at life different and what I want to really do. Do I really want to go to prison all my life? Or do I want to try? Because right now I'm trying to make something work to at the end be a story of success instead of a failure.
I think you should keep doing content. Your videos get a lot of views. I was watching your channel.
See, to make content you need money as well.
For sure.
So
For sure.
I feel like once I felt like last year was my time to shine, but I did one thing wrong. I went all in into content, and I didn't secure a job. I feel like if I secure a job first, even if I don't make it as big as I would have made it last year, I could still make it somewhere with the content.
Yeah, you got to
especially if I get hired by the Goblin. Yeah, boy.
You got to have that comfort cushion.
Yes.
You got to have that job, that base income always, because the content, it's not consistent.
Yeah. So I figure that if I become a trucker, and I get that income.
Yep. Truckers make good money.
Every month, steady income. That's what it's called, right? Steady income. Boom. Then YouTube could be my secondary job.
Yep.
And then I could actually, invest in myself, waste money on it, and it comes back.
Yep.
But when you're have no money, it's hard, bro. It's hard.
It's tough. Like, you got nowhere to go but up, but also it's hard to go up when you don't have the money to begin with.
Yeah.
Because the content's easy once you spend all the money on all the equipment. Once you have everything, then it's pretty easy. But
even to get a studio,
oh, dude,
it's money, bro.
This costs a stupid amount of money. All these cameras cost too much damn money. It's a big investment. It's a lot. I'm sure Chris knows. All these cameras are his.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Silver Strand.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Shout out all the viewers from Oxnard. Hey, if you're
Oxnard,
drop a like, drop a comment.
The whole 805 period,
Yeah.
The whole 805 period, they support a lot.
Let us know. If you're from there, tap in right now. So one of the things that I found really interesting about your story is you kind of described a lot of these, gun charges you were getting as minor cases leading up to what you called in a previous interview the big case that you got.
Yeah.
Are you able to talk about that at all?
Yeah, of course. So I already talked a little bit about it, which my arrest.
Yep.
When I had the gun and I was running.
Yep. But that was a huge case. That was bigger than just you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was bigger than just me, but just me alone. I got arrested for conspiracy to assault somebody with a firearm. So that alone carries a long time. You see what I'm saying?
I've never even heard of that charge.
Well, there's a wiretap, so they're listening to everything I'm saying. Me arguing with this guy, me going to go get a gun. Me saying, whatever I said about him, and it becomes a conspiracy because it didn't happen. They stopped it. The cops believe that they stopped me from shooting somebody. That's what they believe, And if that's what they want to say, it is what it is. I'll go along with it.
Doesn't matter if they actually did or not in the court system.
So I was already getting out in 10 days, and then they hit me with extortion charges.
Wow.
So there was this dude, Bruce Tuttle, and he got caught with I don't know how many, $30,000 to $50,000, $30,000 or $40,000 in Portland. He became an FBI informant, which is a human source.
Yep.
And when I got arrested, the people that stayed out, that they linked to me, they home invasion him. Invasion him. They slapped him around. The cops heard it all on the wiretaps, so the cops get at him. He goes to see his FBI handler, and the sheriffs are right there. They're like, look, we know everything that's been going on. We had a wiretap. Then they start following him because he didn't want to tell him nothing about me, and they get him with some heroin. And then once he got caught with the heroin, he was like, yeah, he told them everything about me. And they got me for extortion. And basically it was 27 people. We all had our own charges. And they said, well, that the main goal was to, that they were trying to collect, I forgot if it was 50,000. Correct me if I'm wrong on the newspapers, because this is all public knowledge. And they say that we're trying to get a cartel member out of a prison in Mexico. That's what the case was.
That sounds really serious.
Well, I mean, that's what I lived.
Yeah. Fuck. So, do you know how long after that person started telling on you that the cops actually came and got you? Was there like a while they waited?
I was already in jail, remember?
Oh, yeah, because you had 10 days left.
Yeah, I had 10 days left.
Did you just get some paperwork at your cell one
Oh,
day?
they came. It's called the dungeon where we're at, which is underground in Ventura County Jail.
Okay.
And they came to every door, and most of us were there, you know? So they hit me, they hit my neighbor, they hit people on the other side. I could hear people yelling, hey, did they give you guys new charges? Yeah, they gave me new charges. Everybody had the same charges, which was extortion. But I was the only one that actually extorted somebody.
Oh, shit.
Or not. I'm the only one that actually had a victim.
The other people, they were just kind of throwing the charge on them.
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
like.
the guy was only telling on me.
Yep. So you go to court for this. All of a sudden, you're not getting out in 10 days anymore, it sounds like.
No, I did 5 years.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how quickly after getting those new charges did you get sentenced to that extra 5 years?
2 years, 4 months.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a long time to
It's
wait
a long
for that
time.
sentencing.
That's a long time.
Did they give you any credit for how long you were in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they better.
They gave me
if you've been
11
in there.
years. I did 5 years and some change.
Dude, getting sentenced to 11 years must be, like, heart-dropping.
Nah, well, I
Hearing
mean,
that
I was happy that I didn't get life.
Yeah.
Because just
That's something you were facing at that time?
conspiracy to assault somebody with a firearm carries the same charge as if you shot somebody.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Any conspiracy that you get arrested for carries the same time as their actual charge.
I didn't know that. That's fucked up.
So I had conspiracy to do that. I had conspiracy for a transnational importing.
Anything with the word transnational in it, you're fucked.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a serious fucking word. So
Yeah.
you get sentenced to 11 years as your actual sentence. Did you know upon getting that sentence that you were going to be able to get out sooner than that? Or did you think like...
No. I went into a level 4 yard, which is maximum security.
Oh, fuck.
It wasn't a 180 because there's a difference between a 180 and a 270 yard.
Uh-huh.
But I was in a 270 level 4, Calipatria. I landed in 2015, and I was there for a whole year. And in 2016, I dropped points, and I went out of state to Mississippi and Arizona. Yeah, but before I caught that case, like during my prison life, I had already been to High Desert level 4 180, New Delano level 4 180. I had already been to Folsom level 3, Centinela level 3, Ironwood level 3. I had already been around.
That's crazy. You're just naming off all these different facilities and like high security levels too.
Yeah.
Like you've really been around. So it sounds like...
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the one that's been around the most.
Of
I don't
course,
like.
yeah.
I don't like doing it.
Of course.
I just want to say this is my experience.
Yeah.
This is what I went
It's your
through.
story, yeah.
You know, like even from my city, like I don't want to say I'm the most hardcore because I know from my city right now there's maybe two little youngsters that do music and they're there for murder in the county jail. There's one from Satakoy. He does music and he's right there allegedly. No, well, he's right there facing a murder charge. I'm not saying he did it. I don't know nothing about it.
It's an allegation.
But yeah, those are the allegations. But they're in there for those crimes.
Yeah.
You know? So it'll be irresponsible for someone just to say, "Oh, I'm the baddest."
Of course.
You know, like.
Well, I think it just makes it more impressive that you're able to sit here and tell the story.
Of course.
You know, I think
Of
that's what
course.
people should be getting out of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow.
But I also gotta stay humble.
Of course.
You know,
Of
pay
course.
respect to those that are living that right now.
Yeah, those that aren't able to be here and tell that
Yeah,
kind of story.
yeah.
You're their voice right now.
Yes,
You know?
yes, sir.
So, you know, you get sentenced that 5 years, or that 11 years.
And
You're
that
in
was my
there.
last time in prison. So I've been done a lot of prison time. You know, I've done a lot of violations.
Yep.
Violation turns into, you know, you get busted with a shotgun. You know what I'm saying? I got busted with a shotgun on a violation. The violation turned into like almost 2 years for beating people up in
Damn.
there. You know, I caught extra time.
Yep. It sounds like pretty impossible to avoid catching extra time when you're going to jail and then you still have to do gang stuff in the jail.
Well, there's fools that don't want to catch no time and they just mind their own business.
Go in there, do their thing, get out.
I was in there like, hey, can I do it?
Yeah, like,
Can I
please
do
pick me. I'll go do it.
Yeah.
So, was there a difference? Because you said you got transferred out of state and pretty far away by the sounds of
My
it.
last time going to prison, you know, I went to Mississippi, and I remember it was 34 hours from Arizona.
Damn.
From Phoenix, Arizona, 34 hours.
How'd they transport you?
Through bus.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's gotta suck.
We passed through Oklahoma, Nebraska. Is it Nebraska? No, Arkansas. Arkansas and then Mississippi, yeah.
That's a boring state.
And then you're like this, you know, with the little black box. You can't even move.
What happens if you like got to go to the bathroom on the bus? Do they like stop?
They
for
let you. No, they let
Okay.
no. The bus keeps moving.
Okay.
The bus.
Is there a
keeps
bathroom
moving.
on there?
See the difference between the out of state bus and the California bus. And the California bus, you can't talk.
Oh.
And the out of state bus, you could.
Oh.
Yeah.
The out-of-state bus is fun. Well,
To
more
a
fun.
certain extent.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you get out of California, you're like, fuck yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So is there a difference in?
But once you get out of California, bro, you're already tired. You're like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like.
You're on a journey at that point.
Excuse
So
me.
I'd imagine gang culture is pretty different when you're moving to a prison that's in a totally different state.
The thing about that I didn't know, or I never really cared to ask, is that they put you with all California inmates. They didn't mix us with Mississippi inmates.
Weird.
We would see them because they had their own jail in the facility. They had their own section, so we would see them like cutting grass and stuff like that. We would talk to them. It was mostly African American folk. Yeah.
So do you think that you kind of got to like chill out on having to do a lot of the fighting and gang stuff there, or was it still like
Where?
when you got transferred out of state?
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. And this is documented. The cops know. You know what I mean? I ain't never seen so many brutal stabbings as I seen over there
Wow.
out of state. There was more.
Wow. So it's worse going out of state.
I mean, it was just a lot of stuff was happening.
Fuck.
You know? And this is not. I'm not talking about stuff that people got away with.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the cops came and arrested people for it.
Yeah.
So it's they know.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
This is already out there.
This is already
out there. Yeah.
Documented.
So you're getting transferred around out of state. How soon before you got released did you know, like, oh, I'm going to get out in 5 years. I'm going to get out early?
When I got transferred out of state?
Like, how soon, like, you're getting transferred around?
Okay, well, look. Funny thing is that when I got to the court sentenced me to 50% out of the 11 years.
Oh, okay. So you knew
the court sentenced me to that.
Okay.
When I get to law school, prison says, no, you're doing 85%.
Oh, no.
So now I'm going to do a couple extra years. And then it was a battle. I had to get on my lawyer, crooked ass lawyer by that, you know. But at that. And then, you know, after a few grievances, they fixed my time. You know, and then when I was in Arizona, I got my GED, so they knocked out like 90 days.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I didn't know I was going to get out until the day I got out. You know what I'm saying? Because even before I got out, they sent me to Centinela State Prison, A-Yard.
Yep.
That's where I paroled from. And, I mean, anything could happen. I remember the guys right there asked me, hey, if we need you to beat somebody up, are you willing to do it even though you're going home? And I said, yeah. You know?
Got to do what you got to do.
I'm not going to say no.
You'll worry about it later. So I'm kind of intrigued, too. You're probably the best authority that I've gotten the chance to talk to on this show about it. I'm interested in hearing about prison food.
Prison food?
What's the deal with it? Is it really as bad as like everyone says, or is there like a good dish that you get every now and then, or what's the scoop?
Look, reception food sucks.
Okay.
Reception food is not the business. Mainline food, they actually, you know, cook it
Yep.
You get eggs, you know.
There's a kitchen.
They flip them. There's a kitchen, you know. You get coffee cake. Everything right there mixed with peanut butter.
Okay.
Coffee cake, anything you mix it with peanut butter. Soup, you do the soup, you boil it, and then you put a little bit of peanut butter. You mix it in there, and it tastes good.
Why the peanut butter?
They give you peanut butter for lunch, so I guess people just start mixing it with everything.
I mean, fuck, it probably helps.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Peanut butter's good, dude.
It gives you a flavor, you know? Yeah, but the food in there it's okay. It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's just, I feel like when people say it sucks, they don't give you enough. I think that's what sucks.
So you're just still hungry after you eat.
Yeah, bro.
So how do you get around that? Are you getting like commissary or what's the...
Well, you get commissary. You can go up to $220 a month. Or like me, I experienced most of my time on lockdown, so I would pay the white boys to go to store for me. You know,
okay.
I'll put $100 on their books. Whoever doesn't know restitution, they'll give me 80 and they'll keep 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good cut for them.
Yeah.
That's
I
nice.
would get a lot of soups for me and my Sally.
Yeah.
And then next month, I'll get like beans, a lot of beans, and we still have soups.
What are like some of the best things on the commissary menu?
On the commissary menu, the cheese squeeze.
Okay.
Cheese squeeze.
Okay.
Roast beef.
Okay.
Shredded beef.
Oh, so you can get like lunch meat and stuff.
You
Okay.
can get the packs. What are they called? Food packs?
Yeah, the little like...
Pouches.
Yeah, the little like boar's head
Yeah.
meat pouches or whatever. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, that's actually not bad. I was expecting like just like ramen, you know? Like
Ramen's there.
which, yeah, of course they got that. Yep.
Ramen is good, but I feel like overall it gave me high blood pressure.
Yeah, dude, there's so much sodium in that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those is like a nuke to your fucking blood system.
Yeah.
I stopped eating ramen because, like, if once you read the label, dude, you'll probably have a heart attack. just
Yeah,
reading
for
that
sure.
shit, you know? So, you know, you get out early. You do your 5 years out of your 11. And that was fairly recently that you got out. That was less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, I got out in December 2017. So I kind of say I got out in 2018 because, I mean, December I already got out maybe a week before Christmas.
And you were saying earlier, too, prior to COVID happening, you actually had things going pretty good. Like
Yes,
you had a job
yes,
and all that.
I was into I got into this company that had a contract with Edison, so they would send us to Bishop. To Bishop, there's a lot of mountains that had Edison poles, and we would do 10 feet, 20 feet around it, everything to the bottom. So if there's a tree right there, we gotta take it down.
And what's an Edison pole?
Edison light pole.
Oh, okay.
Electricity pole.
Okay. All right.
Either that or towers, light towers.
You don't have to climb up that shit, do you?
Yeah, you have to.
Oh my god.
So
bro,
we're
I'm so scared of heights. I can't do
we're
that.
over here some of them you could drive, and some of them you just have to walk up there. So you're carrying the weed whacker, somebody's carrying a blade, somebody's carrying a chainsaw, somebody's carrying the gas, somebody's carrying the water. Yeah,
That's hard fucking
yeah,
work,
bro.
dude. How do you get trained for that? Do they just take you out there with them?
They just take you out there with them, man.
You gotta learn
the
on the
company.
fly.
Shout out to the company. It's called BC Tree Service. They gave me a chance, you know, and I learned a lot from them, you know.
Nice.
But I wanted to make more money, so.
So then, what happened during COVID? That kind
The
of screwed things
COVID,
up?
they stopped work.
Yeah, it fucked
COVID
everything
stopped
up.
work
Yeah.
for them, you know. I think the only ones that stayed are the ones that make houses.
Yeah. 'cause
Construction.
That never ends.
Yeah.
Real estate never dies.
I think those were I forgot what they're essential workers. Yeah, I think that was the ones, you know.
Yeah, I guess that is an essential worker. You know.
And then it was hard to get a job after that. You know, I've been in construction, so last year I got a job for 6 to 8 months, and I was doing bridges, fixing bridges, which is they do some it's like concrete.
Yep.
It's called poly, and that's what we were doing. So you jackhammer the bridge everywhere there's holes, and then you patch it up with poly.
You ever seen someone get injured on the job doing construction?
You know what? When I went to Stockton, because I was working in Stockton, somebody had got killed, but I did not see it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
How'd they get killed?
Oh, they get ran over. We're working the freeway, bro.
That's horrible.
We're working the freeway.
That's horrible. The
Yeah.
freeway. I always feel so bad for those guys working on the freeway. I'm like,
Hey, shout out to everybody working on the freeway, man. It's a
100%.
hard job.
those guys got balls.
But even the people that are working in the towers, bro, there's a lot of snakes.
Uh-huh. I mean, you're out there,
Yeah.
dude. You're in the wilderness, bro. You're either
just
dealing with
respect to everybody that is working in the field.
anyone doing hard manual labor. You gotta tip your
Respect
hat
to
that,
anybody
you know?
that's working, period. But those guys right
100%.
there, they're earning it.
Those guys, yeah, they're really getting
Yeah.
to it. You know, me, I feel like I got it pretty cushy here. Those guys are busting their ass.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. So, did you think that you had a harder time kind of staying on the right path once you lost work, or were you still able to focus and like stay out of trouble?
You know what? Well, for the first 2 years on COVID, they were giving you money, unemployment.
Dude,
So-
that unemployment stimulus was
right,
hitting, dude.
So basically, I mean, it was lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely, but it made me not want to go to work. It made me like,
Everybody.
why am I gonna go to work if they're giving me all this money? And that's bad. I feel like that was bad.
I have a lot of friends who made more money staying at home during COVID than
Yes.
they've like ever made working.
Yes.
Like by a lot too. They were handing out thousands of dollars a
Yes.
month and asking no questions about it.
Yes. I feel like that was a bad thing.
Very
They-
bad.
They shouldn't do it again.
For sure. Yeah.
Even if they do, I'm not gonna be content with it now that I know how bad it is
Yeah.
to get back on your feet.
it's difficult getting that easy money, dude, because the moment that faucet dries up,
Yeah.
what the fuck do you do?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to go back and work for that shit. Give me that fucking unemployment back, man.
For real.
You know?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna say this to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've sacrificed a lot being out here, being broke and just going through stuff like that.
Yep.
But I managed to stay out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all the little sacrifices that I've done, being broke, whatever it is, it's kept me out of jail, out of prison.
Yeah.
You know? So now I'm in a path where I'm almost going to finish probation. I finished parole. And then I caught a new charge for, it was a domestic issue.
Yeah.
I broke some windows.
Way
And
it
then,
goes. Way it
so,
goes.
So I think I might get out probation in March.
Oh, nice.
If everything goes good,
Okay.
If everything goes good, but I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about getting the license for trucking and adding value to myself, But I feel like all the little things I'm doing are going to pay off
For sure.
and are sacrifices that keeping me out of jail.
Yep.
If I would have went for the bag, started selling, I feel like I would have went back right away.
For sure. For sure. Now that you're kind of out and you've got your stuff together, what's your plans for the future?
Well, my plans for the future is first and foremost, the internet comes second.
Okay.
I got to secure a job. That's my plan. Secure a job like trucking or the union or something good. And then on my free time, I'll invest whatever time I can on YouTube. I feel like YouTube is the future.
It is.
And I feel like it hasn't been discovered to the point where it's at its maximum capacity.
There's still a lot of room to grow.
Yes.
Yeah. And YouTube, I mean, I'll
You're
tell
doing
you.
something smart. You're doing something smart, navigating into. You could actually control this gang block things because you're not a gang member, bro. You're going to
Yeah.
be welcome anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I stay out of the gang politics.
Yeah.
I don't want any part.
Yeah.
you know?
But it doesn't mean you can't make content.
Oh, yeah, of
Alright,
course.
you know?
I mean, anyone who's down to give me a tour where they came from, I'm always down to go check it
Yeah,
out.
boy!
Sounds interesting to me.
Let's
you
go to
know?
Bakersfield.
Just don't shoot at me. You
Nah,
know?
You got to make it safe for yourself first.
Yep. 100%.
But that's my plan, bro. I'm going to secure a job, and then wherever YouTube takes me, I have 33,000 followers right now. I haven't invested no money in it.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
dude.
good.
I spent a lot of money on myself long before I got to that point. So you're off to a damn good start so
Yeah.
far. And I mean, like I said earlier, I checked out your channel and you get a lot of views. Like you got a fan base, and a
Yeah.
strong one. So I mean,
I
you're
hope
probably
it
gonna-
grows. I hope it grows.
I think after this drops, it will
Yeah, I
for
hope.
sure.
What do you think this is going to do, EC 200?
Ooh, I don't know, man. I mean, lately all the episodes have been doing good. We
I
just
seen
had,
you. You have nothing under 100
Yeah.
except for Lush.
Well, Lush, we just dropped. He's actually about to break 100K.
Is he?
So, yeah, we got Lush coming
Shout out
up.
to Lush then.
Yeah,
I was,
Lush is the homie.
I was already going to verbally attack him, but never mind.
I thought you said we weren't talking shit this show. So, for the people out there that are watching at home, let's say like there's someone young and they're in a similar situation where they're in and out of juvie. Maybe they're getting in trouble a lot. What advice would you give them?
The advice I give them is this. It's simple. You do what you want to do with your life. But I'm going to tell you right now that the 5, 10 little homies you have, out of those 10 homies, probably 5 or 6 are going to piece you up, become rats. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And a lot of you guys are going to end up in prison for a long time unless you change your life right now. You don't have to be a punk. You don't have to be a B. You don't have to be a lame. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself a job, secure yourself a family, and work on yourself. That's all
cool
I can
thing.
say. That's all I can say, bro.
That's
You
a
know
cool
what I'm
thing to do. You know, it really is, in my opinion, at least.